All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks for a few of us who joined us in the chat to share what you're looking forward to learning today. But let's go ahead and kick this off. Our very first Global Gopher virtual experience. Welcome, and so excited that you joined us. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about why Minnesota and introduce you to this amazing state, this amazing university, and the community that surrounds us. But first, I want to share a huge congratulations. You've applied to the university, you've been accepted. Some of you have actually confirmed your enrollment. We're really excited to have you join us as part of this amazing University of Minnesota Twin Cities family. And now you're officially a global Golden Gopher, and your journey to the University of Minnesota starts here today with us. And we're here to provide some more information for you.
You don't become a world-class public research university overnight. At the University of Minnesota, we've been at it for 174 years. We now reach all corners of the state: Crookston, Duluth, Morris, Rochester, Twin Cities, and beyond. Our people have shaped us. Their accomplishments define us. From James Crash Ryan to Norman Borlaug, Ansel Keys to Jeanette Picard, Hubert H. Humphrey to Walter Mondale, Alan Page to Lori Gilday, and so many more. We are a place of firsts. Our innovations precede us, especially in medicine. With over 15,000 degrees each year and more than 640,000 alumni, cheerleading originated here, and there's been plenty to cheer about. We're a university of champions and home of the Axe. So let's cut to the chase. The University of Minnesota is not slowing down. We're accelerating. We are the vital force, the energy for change, pushing toward a future once unimaginable. We're turning learning into action and exploration into the breakthroughs that make our world more productive, safer, more sustainable. We'll train more healthcare professionals to keep ourselves even healthier and deepen connections within our communities, rural, urban, and tribal. Greatness requires partnership, and excellence draws a crowd. Our path forward begins now, and we need everyone on board.
Row the boat.
Sky-U-Mog.
Go Gophers. Go Golden Eagles.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Cougars.
Go Rutgers!
Go University of Minnesota.
Forward to our future.
What better way to kick things off for you to see our beautiful campus and the community that surrounds us? We'll do a quick introduction of some of the folks that are joining us today. My name is Dane Rowley. I'm Director of International Recruitment here at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, and I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Susan.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining us from both all over the states and all over the world. My name is Susan Martz, and I am the Assistant Director of International Recruitment here at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. And I'll go ahead and hand it off to Caro to introduce herself.
Good morning from Minnesota. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kaoru Takeonan. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Associate Director here. We are so super excited to be here today, and we can't wait to see you on campus this fall.
Great. Thank you so much, Karu. We also have a few other folks here in the room. We have our colleagues that are part of International Students and Scholar Services. So Marina, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dane. And good morning for many of you and good afternoon for a lot of you that are joining us today. My name is Marina Uehara. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Director of Student Engagement in International Student and Scholar Services, ISSS or ISSS. I am joined today by two folks who will be helping us answer some of the questions on behalf of ISSS, Lisa Ziegler and Anita Fong. I am excited to welcome you all on behalf of the ISSS office. Our staff are excited to get to know all of you. For those of you who are perhaps not international students, we also want to welcome you on behalf of all of us. Like many of you, I was an international student joining the University of Minnesota many years ago. So I know what an exciting journey this can be. So thank you, Dane, for having us today.
Yeah, thank you. And such really important partners. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that ISSS will do to help you in your journey at the University of Minnesota once you arrive, but also part of this series of Global Gopher virtual experiences is to introduce you to many partners around campus. So not just admissions, but folks that are going to be a part of your journey for the next 2 to 4 years. If you're a transfer student for a couple of years, if you're going to be coming in as a new first-year student and beyond. So really happy to be able to introduce you to the folks who will make your journey even more successful and fulfilling at the University of Minnesota. So with that, we'll continue on and share a little bit about these global Gopher experiences, connecting you with all of our international community of 5,400 international students, plus as from students from 140 different countries represented here on campus. And with that, I'll turn it over to Susan.
Yes, thank you so much, Dane. So we're going to jump right in now to why I hope a lot of you guys are here today, learning a little bit more about what makes the University of Minnesota special, as well as Minnesota as a state. So when you're looking for a university that's the right fit, there are usually a few things that we really like to think about. And those things are going to be location, academics, opportunities, and community. And so what makes the University of Minnesota special is that we really, really shine in all four of these, from our top-notch programs and research opportunities to experiences inside and outside of the classroom to a location that's both vibrant and welcoming. We really do have a lot to offer. And so today we're going to be exploring each of these pillars to show you what makes Minnesota such a unique place to learn and grow. And then at the end, we'll also share some practical next steps for you now that you've been admitted. So as Dane has mentioned, please feel free to ask any questions that you might have in the Q&A, and we'll work behind the scenes to get those answered. But let's go ahead and jump in now to some of our main content. So first, let's talk about where we are and why our location is such a big advantage. And so the University of Minnesota is located in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, or as a lot of or most people call it, the Twin Cities. So with about 3.7 million people, it's a lively metropolitan area, a city with plenty happening all the time. I promise if you don't want to be, you will never be bored. You'll find a mix of arts and culture, music, theater, sports, and festivals with different themes from all over the world. So that's something we're really excited about. And getting to and from Minneapolis is easy as well. We have our Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, which connects us to lots of destinations nationally and globally. Being in the Twin Cities gives you all of the excitement of a big city while still having a welcoming, approachable campus at the U. And it's a really great place to live, learn, and explore. And speaking of exploring, let's take a look at some of the amazing things you can do right here in the Twin Cities. So living in the Twin Cities means there's always something to do no matter the season. You can enjoy free activities like parades, farmers markets, and festivals. You can visit the beautiful state capitol, right? Right in St. Paul. Or you can take in our different outdoor experiences like parks and all of the lakes, of course. So if you're looking for something a little extra, I always like to point out to students that the Mall of America is just a short distance away, and it's actually the largest shopping and entertainment complex in the country. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the Minnesota State Fair, which is the best in the nation, is a must-see every year right near campus. And so there's always tons of different attractions, art venues, and cultural events to explore. So you'll never run out of ways to really enjoy the Twin Cities. And all of this really ties in with why our location is so unique for a big public university. And what makes the U truly stand out is that we're one of the only Big Ten public universities located in a major metropolitan area. Being in the Twin Cities gives students incredible career opportunities. There are a lot of different Fortune 500 companies headquartered here, plus the Minnesota State Capitol. And a vibrant nonprofit sector as well. So there's a lot of good opportunities for careers, for internships, for different practicums and co-ops. And it's not just about the work. I understand that. So the Twin Cities also has a fantastic dining scene, from food trucks and local cafes to award-winning international restaurants. And so whether it's different cultural experiences or internships, networking, or just exploring, Minneapolis-St. Paul really gives you a little bit of everything right at your doorstep. And one of the best things, in my personal opinion, about living here is that you really get to experience all four seasons on campus. Minnesota is really one of the very few places that you get to truly experience all four seasons, right? And so fall is gorgeous. The leaves change colors. There's a crisp nip in the air, and you get to spend a lot of really fun time outdoors. Winter, which we're currently in now, is cold. Yes, I promise you get used to it though. But there's a lot of fun things to do during winter as well, like ice skating and skiing and cozy indoor activities, like drinking hot chocolate with your friends. And then spring, of course, brings warm weather to the campus. We're really looking we're really looking forward to that right now. But it's really a time for the campus to be in full bloom, and you get to start exploring a lot of different things there. And then summer, of course, is a fantastic time to be outside or to do an internship if you want. But no matter the season, our campus has really amazing amenities to keep you active and engaged, from our different fitness centers on campus and recreation fields to lounges and study spaces. There's always something to do, rain, shine, or snow. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at campus itself. So the University of Minnesota Twin Cities has three distinct areas. We have the East Bank, the West Bank, and the St. Paul campus. So our campus really does blend kind of that traditional college campus feel with modern architecture. So you'll find historic buildings like you might see in movies right next to modern architectural marvels that people rave about, right? It's beautifully situated, our campus, on the banks of the Mississippi River, which is one of the main rivers in the United States. And then it's just across from downtown Minneapolis. So you really do get that kind of traditional, classic collegiate feel with really great access and easy access to the city. And getting around is really easy as well, which makes exploring all three parts of the campus and the city even more convenient. So, as a student, and that's a quick map of our campus there, just so that you can get a better feel of the West Bank, the East Bank, and then our St. Paul campus. So transitioning now to thinking a little bit about transportation and getting around the city. As a student, you do have access to a wide range of transportation options. And one of the best perks about being a student is that with your U card, you can actually ride the Metro Transit system for free. And so this makes it really simple to travel between the different campus areas, to get into downtown, to explore the city, especially without having to worry about paying for parking or different transit. So it's convenient, it's sustainable, and it's really budget friendly as well. And it's perfect for classes, internships, or just hanging out with friends and exploring the city. So transitioning now, of course, one of the main reasons you're here is academics. So we'll have we'll talk quickly about that. One of the things that really makes the U special is that you can find a great sense of belonging in your academics. And so you'll really get to know your professors, your TAs, your classmates, which really makes learning more personal and meaningful. We do offer over 150 majors and 135 minors across our 8 different colleges, freshman admitting colleges. So lots of options there, as well as over 180 different graduate and professional programs. We actually have one of the most comprehensive offerings of graduate programs in the country. So that means if you're interested in going beyond a bachelor's degree, you can actually start interacting with a lot of different graduate level faculty really early in your career. And even though we're a really large public school, our student faculty to ratio, which is something we're really proud of, is about 17-1. So around 65% of our classes have 30 students or fewer. We do have some larger lecture courses, but those often include discussion sections or labs. So we really work hard to make sure that you'll never feel lost in the crowd. And if you want to take your learning even further, the U is also a top tier research university. And so we are an R1 research university institution, which is recognized as the highest level for research. In fact, about 90% of the research conducted in Minnesota actually happens right on our campus. So this creates countless opportunities for students to get involved and gain hands-on experience. Most of our faculty are actively researching, which means they bring discoveries into the classroom, which really can help enrich your learning. And then we have, I know a lot of students can often be nervous about participating in research. And so we do have a lot of programs like our undergraduate research opportunities programs, which helps students find a partner in faculty to work on projects, as well as receiving a little bit of a stipend. So that's really nice. But you can always chat with your professors to see what they're doing as in research as well. So I really always encourage students to really think about research, even if you aren't in like a traditional research field, like a STEM field. There's a lot of research happening even in the humanities, in different liberal arts. And so it's really just a great way to explore your interests and to gain some really great experience and to work alongside some of our world-class faculty in a variety of different subjects. So, of course, academics are only a part of your experience. So the campus community is also just as important, if not a little bit more so. But the University of Minnesota has a vibrant campus community with I would say endless opportunities to get involved, to meet people, and to really grow into finding your personality and becoming a great leader. And so there are student groups for nearly every interest, whether those be cultural or academic or athletic or just for fun. So you can study abroad as well. We have programs from 1 week to a full year. We actually have one of the nation's largest study abroad programs. So that's a great option as well. And then on campus, you can participate in research and internships and co-ops and practicums, really shaping your own experience and preparing for life after graduation. So there's really no limit to how you can get involved and make your time here your own. And so when you join the U at the University of Minnesota, you're joining more than just a school. You're joining a community and a legacy, and so that's something we're really passionate about and wanna highlight for you all. And so when you're joining the University of Minnesota, you become part of an elite community of students and alumni. A lot of alumni building a legacy for success and innovation. And so our students and graduates have made an impact in every field, from business and engineering to the arts and sciences and public service. And so you'll be surrounded by ambitious, talented people and faculty who inspire and challenge you. So at the U, you're not just learning, you're contributing to a tradition of discovery, innovation, and leadership that spans generations. So I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Dane here. And so he can kind of transition us into some other great things about the U, as well as some of our next steps.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Susan, so much for that information. And we're going to pause for just another quick video to share a little bit more about what's happening and how we're getting ready for the future. And you're part of that future as a new student at the University of Minnesota.
When today becomes history, what will remain? Not the noise, not the headlines. What will remain is everything we do that moved us forward. What will remain is the education we advance, the life-saving discoveries that outlive us. The research and scholarship we choose to pioneer. The University of Minnesota is where extraordinary things endure, leaving our state, nation, and world stronger than before. And what we do next will be what remains for those who come after. What will remain are students prepared to live with purpose. What will remain are discoveries that heal, protect, and sustain. What will remain are healthier lives and stronger communities across Minnesota. What will remain are facilities built for the next generation. What will remain is a new vision for learning. This is what we leave behind. This is what carries our future forward. Because what we leave is not just legacy. It is a stronger tomorrow.
Love that video because it really highlights the things that our students are doing, our faculty are doing, and that you'll be doing as a new student, as a global gopher coming to the university, bringing your unique gifts and talents, the many different identities and cultures you bring and perspectives to make us even better. Uh, our campus, as Susan has really laid out well, is designed for your academic success and your overall wellness. The University of Minnesota Twin Cities campus is not just static. We're and stagnant. We're growing. We're building. We're renovating. Whether it's buildings that look very old on the outside, and then you get in and see how incredible and how innovative and high tech they are, like our newly renovated chemistry building for the College of Science and Engineering, where there's some incredible collaborative spaces for students to do research with each other, with professors that also lean into kind of a really cozy but high tech space that many other campuses around the country have come to our campus to find out how to better teach chemistry and how to engage with students. And we're one of only 5 university campuses in the United States that offer schools of engineering, medicine, veterinary science, medical school, law school, and agriculture all in one university campus. We're very proud of the spaces and the focus on both our activities, our academics, and our actually academic learning spaces for you to be successful. We've talked a little bit about this, but I want to just share some really important stats. Now, rankings are not the most important thing, but often rankings become kind of a symbol or a proxy for reputation, for quality. We are a well-respected university. We're in the top 25 in the nation for public universities in the United States. We mentioned research. 48% of our students participate in undergraduate research opportunity. If you're a student admitted to Carlson School of Management, you're going to be doing internships as part of that program, and many other majors and many other colleges, you'll be doing internships and other hands-on learning experiences, which leads to important outcomes like the fact that 92% of our graduates are employed or in master's or doctoral programs within a year of graduating. And 60 of our programs at the University of Minnesota are ranked in the top 20 in their fields, which is a lot. That's impressive. We have about 140 different majors, and so many of them are ranked in the top 20. We also want you to feel at home on campus. Susan mentioned the great restaurant and food scene. What that means for you is that you're going to find very accessible within free public transportation food for you to branch out and learn new things and learn new cultures, but also maybe stay a little connected to your home as well, and finding some food that feels like home and helps you stay that grounded while you're also exploring in other areas. We mentioned the great learning abroad experiences. Sometimes international students wonder why we talk about learning abroad when you're coming from another country to study in the US, but we want you to have a global experience while you're here. So if that means studying abroad at some point and you spend 3 or 3.5 years on campus and a half year or a year off campus, fantastic. We have so many opportunities for you. And then there's so many other things like Radio K on campus to help students connect and to communicate. The Big Ten, you might have heard of this before. It's a big deal in the US, but internationally, you may not have heard of it, but it's part of an academic alliance. So our main athletic competitors are Big Ten universities, other large public research universities, and a couple private universities as well. But many universities that you may have heard about, the ones that when you click on that TV to watch hockey or basketball or football, you'll find our Gophers competing on the world stage. As well as our incredible dance team that is a national champion as well. So we have fans that come from all over from the country and the world to see our sporting events, but also there's an academic alliance that's part of the Big Ten, which means our library resources are shared across many other universities, research universities, whether it's Berkeley or Penn State or Rutgers or Purdue. There's an academic aspect of that collaboration, not just an academic and not just an athletic. But let's shift towards learning and living on campus. A really important part of this. We'll talk a little bit about the benefits of living on campus, as well as some of the residence halls and ways for you to connect. Now, we don't require students to live on campus for their first year, but that doesn't mean that we don't really encourage you to take a look at that and see if that's the best option for you. We have so many different learning and living communities. So, for example, we have 30 different LLCs that are called living learning communities that let students and invite students to connect with peers, roommates, floor mates, and friends who share similar interests or academic goals or personal direction. So they're themed residence halls that are really in depth for students that might be looking for that. There's many different dining halls and restaurants on campus and easy access to the metro area from campus. Again, there's bus stops and a light rail stop right in the middle of campus, in the heart of campus, for you to connect with the rest of the Twin Cities area. There's 9 different residence halls, and you'll have opportunities to connect with other students, with your classmates, your peers. And they feature some things that you won't get if you rent an apartment off campus, like free laundry, high-speed internet, furnished rooms, and 24/7 information desks, security, study rooms, lounges, music practice rooms, and so many other things. There's dining halls on campus, and again, about 20 different retail restaurants at the university. So living on campus is feasible, and it can be a lot more cost effective than you might realize based on some of those other amenities that we provide to all of our students in the residence halls. Your safety and well-being is a high priority for us. Highest priority, to be able to learn and be able to engage in all these amazing services and activities we talk about, you need to feel safe. So there's some incredible well-being resources like our Student Counseling Center and the Spiritual Life Center. There's Boynton Health, so all of your healthcare needs can be taken care of on campus. We have some great programs like Pet Away Worry and Stress, our PAWS program. And the Recreation and Wellness Center have intramural sports and activities, places to go and work out, yoga classes, spin classes, so many other things to take advantage of. And our safety and security services provide so many different kind of physical safety opportunities, whether it's a ride to or from campus if you need a safe place to go, our campus security team, and Blue Light, which is an emergency system on campus that have these different poles and phones that you can access anytime to be able to get a ride through our Gopher chauffeur. So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of ways to be able to help you stay safe while you're a student. We want you to build your network of support. So as we kind of wind down the actual presentation and slides, we have a few more to share about next steps. But know that this process, this Global Gopher virtual experience, is about helping you to start now to build your network of support. Because your success at university, sure, it's your hard work, it's your initiative, but it's also the people that you lean on for help. So there's Center for Academic Planning and Exploration to help you if you are getting to campus, you've been admitted to your college, but maybe you get here and realize maybe this major, maybe this is not the right college for you. They can help you kind of figure that out. You're not completely locked in. We want you, we've shown a lot of trust in you as we've and potential as we admit you to your college, but know that there are times that you might change your mind, that you might explore and find different things out about yourself. Within each college is housed academic advisors and support. So while the university is huge, with so many different supports, within your college, you find that smaller community of academic support, advisors that know your major, know your field, and can really help you with that. And one-stop student services available in person and also virtually to make sure that you have all the support you need for registration, questions about tuition, billing, and other things as well. We're a very transfer-friendly university. So if you're a transfer student, I was a transfer student when I was doing my undergraduate, and know that that experience is a little bit different. And so we want to make sure that you have the support and the peer network and professional network of support there. You may be invited to be a part of the University Honors Program. That's something that you'll hear about over the next month or two. We have support for students with disabilities in our Disability Resource Center, our Gopher Family Connection engagement, so you can actually help also connect your parents to your experience while you're studying here, and a pre-health student resource center if you're thinking about any pre-health major. Beyond that, we want to help you build your global network of support. So we mentioned a little bit about ISSS. One of the amazing things they do is they host our Global Gopher Caucuses, and these are student-led spaces, really more than clubs. They're communities that are built to help you navigate what this is like as an international student, as well as all the other identities that you bring with you. And so these are groups where you can really find your home base, your grounding, and your network of support, whether it's our Abilities Beyond Disabilities, our Black identifying student group, our Latino or Latinx population, Muslim students, sponsored students, LGBTQIA students, as well as students who might also be parents as well. And these are places where you'll also engage with graduate students. So it's a wide range of students with different experiences and different life experiences to be able to help you feel engaged and connected. ISSS is not just about helping you stay compliant with your visa, which is a very important part of that. They're also participating with us in these virtual pre-arrival sessions, and they'll be doing quite a bit with us over the next few months and into the summer. They're also here to help with your leadership development, to help support you if you're looking to work part-time or looking for opportunities after your first year to engage in internships off campus. They're here to be able to help you and also get connected to both personal counseling and academic counseling as well. All right, so a little bit about kind of next steps, cost of attendance. This information is live on our website, so you can check this out. Just a couple things to point out here that the tuition fees and the books and supplies, these are estimated based on 9 months, so during the academic year. But many, if not most of our international students choose to stay in the Twin Cities over the summer as well. So when we look at the health insurance and the living expenses, we estimate those as 12 months because we want to make sure that you're really aware of what the true cost might be for you for that academic year and also for that full calendar year of study. Now, if you're an international student studying on an F visa, HL, or other non-immigrant visas, you are being considered for merit-based aid, and those notifications will be going out by March 31st at the latest, although you may hear before that. For international students on different non-immigrant visa categories, need-based aid is not available. For U.S. citizens who might be living outside the U.S., you're also being considered for merit-based aid, or merit-based scholarship, I should say. Then you'll also be notified by March 31st of that. If you are a U.S. citizen, you may be eligible to file the FAFSA, even if your parents aren't citizens. If you have any questions about any of this information, please reach out to me, Susan, Kaoru, Lorenzo, who's not with us today, but we have a great staff in the admissions office that can help navigate some of those questions. Susan and I both have experience working with students who are also U.S. citizens outside the U.S., so we can help you through some of those questions that you might have as well. All right, next steps, very important. Your final step is to graduate in 4 years. So hopefully 4 years from now, you're going to be getting ready to walk across that stage in a couple months. But in the meantime, there's a lot of things that you can do now to continue on this journey. And I know some of you in the room in the session have already confirmed your enrollment. You can also apply for housing and submit your housing guarantee fee. The priority deadline for that is May 15th, but you can do that now. And actually, almost all of these things you can start planning for now, like confirming your enrollment. May 1st is our priority deadline, but you can do so anytime. Once you've confirmed your enrollment, you'll be able to submit your I-20 request and apply for your visa. Now, I put May through August 1st here, but the reality is the sooner the better, especially when it's time to apply for your visa. So the sooner you can really decide if University of Minnesota is the right place for you, confirm your enrollment through a non-refundable enrollment fee, and then within about 2 days, and I'll talk about this in the next slide, a little bit more detail, you'll get some information about getting ready for your I-20. Orientation starts online for students who can't travel here in the summer, but it continues in person right when you arrive in late August and early September. In the meantime, in the summer, we'll need you to submit those final official test scores like TOEFL or IELTS or Duolingo. If you self-reported in your application or your SAT or ACT, you can self-report those for admission, but we'll need those officially. And then your final secondary documents. This is very important. Once you've chosen to come to the University of Minnesota by July 1st, we'll need you to provide that diploma, those final documents that show that you actually finished your education, whether it's government issued documents or as well as final documents that show all the grades that you received. And then start your journey. We'll want you to arrive at the very latest 2 days prior to the start of orientation. So really, that's going to be the very end of August as we launch into September. And we require all students to attend all of our orientation and welcome week activities. And it's required. It's also really fun. There's so many great things that you can do during welcome week and the orientation, whether it's heading down to the football stadium to create that ginormous block M in the middle of the football field so you can be a part of that new group of students. There's socials, there's workshops, there's networking, there's ways to build your community. And so plan for that once you get to campus at the end of August, you're going to be engaging in all those welcome week and orientation activities. And again, this is not applicable if you're not going to be an F1 student, but because this is such an important part and very time sensitive, I wanted to share a little bit more details, and then we'll open it up to any live question and answers that you might have. So if you are going to be applying for an I-20, or if you're transferring your I-20 from another institution within the U.S., another high school or community college, you'll need to follow these steps. Number one, you'll confirm your enrollment and confirm your University of Minnesota account. Then within a couple of days, you'll get an email from issssnew@umn.edu that says request your University of Minnesota I-20. That'll help you get into the My ISSS system. You can access the request form, submit all that information and any required documentation, and then you'll receive a confirmation email when that request is in. And then within about 2 weeks, you should be hearing back in terms of any edits that are needed or any additional information that's needed. And very quickly, and our turnaround time from our ISSS colleagues is fantastic. As long as you've submitted everything you need to, they're able to get back to you pretty quickly with that I-20. You'll get a notification that that I-20 is ready, and then you can download that I-20 and from there apply for your visa. Now, in future sessions, we will talk a little bit more about the visa application process. Once you've confirmed enrollment, though, you can definitely reach out to issssnew@umn.edu if you have questions about this I-20 process or concerns about that. If you haven't yet confirmed your enrollment, feel free to reach out to the admission office. We're happy to help you, and answer any concerns or questions you might have about what that next step might be. Unfortunately, we cannot waive or defer the confirmation fee. But if you have any questions about that, if you need a little bit more time, for example, you can reach out to us and talk through that. All right, so coming up in the next few months, as we said, we've got at least this is the next 4 months, although even into June and July and August, our colleagues in ISSS and us will be working on some more global Gopher virtual experiences. But for the next few months, think about joining us for one of these in March, April, May, and June. In March, we'll be talking a little bit more about making the most of your university experience. We'll have folks from career resources and services and some other offices to talk with you about making the most of your experience. In April, we'll have some current students and alumni here to answer questions that you might have and find out from them what their experience has been like. In May, we'll continue to connect with other offices and resources on campus. And then in June, the focus is really more kind of helping you pack your bags and get ready to come to the university. So keep an eye out for those engagement opportunities. We also are going to be traveling around the world. Susan and I will be heading to places like Central America, India, China, Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, Korea. Right now, we have a colleague in Brazil. We're going to be traveling around the world. So also look for opportunities to engage with us in person. Keep an eye on those emails so that you get invited to connect with us in person closer to home as well. So with that, I wanted to see if we have any live questions that we can answer. If there's any in the Q&A that have come up, Susan or Marina, if you want to answer any questions that have come up or things that you might want to add that maybe I didn't cover.
Sure, I can go ahead. I see a question. It just says housing and question life. I am assuming you're asking about both on-campus and off-campus housing. So there will be a workshop that ISSS will be hosting in July regarding off-campus living and navigating off-campus leases. The reason why we wait until July is because that's when most of the leases are available to students. In the United States, typically off-campus leases become available to students around 2 months before. So that's why we wait until there. We will be inviting our campus partners from off-campus living, housing, as well as university student legal services. University Student Legal Services will be helping new international students review their off-campus leases for free prior to their arrival to ensure that everything is right. But if you have questions around on-campus housing, strongly recommend that you reach out to housing@umn.edu and that you sign up and enroll in housing and pay that housing guarantee. That's what allows you to get to be placed. You do find out about your housing placement sometime in July, and you will get that information from the housing folks as well. So hopefully that answered your question, but please feel free to add that as well.
Yeah.
I think,
Great
Susan,
question.
there's a question around if you're all going to Bangladesh.
I was actually just there last month, so we might have missed each other, but I am always happy to do a virtual session one-on-one if you have any questions as well. But yes, we were there at the end of January. So, yeah, Had a great time. And then I see a couple of questions here about some scholarships, about applying for scholarships, about finding funding. So, as far as our merit-based scholarships, you're automatically considered for those at the time of admission. For international students, there's really not any other scholarships. So we don't have need-based aid as far as the University of Minnesota is concerned. There are some private scholarships that you can apply to. My recommendation there is really you're just going to have to spend some time doing some really good research for those. So things like Scholarship Owl is a good platform, or EduPass as well. But really spending some time like researching those. We don't have any specific platforms that we might recommend over others, but there are some private scholarships out there, but you do have to do some time and spend some time in research for those. I also always encourage students, especially international students, to reach out to their local Education USA office, which is a global network of offices funded by the U.S. State Department that has some really great resources for local scholarships in your own community that might be good resources. And they'll definitely know a lot more than any of us might know about specific community-based scholarships that you might be eligible for. So that's that's a little bit about different scholarships. There's for international students, there's no separate applications for any of the University of Minnesota scholarships that we provide. So I think that answers a lot. And then funding for private scholarships is the same. So, Dane, do you have anything to add as far as scholarships or funding is concerned?
Nope, it is one of the most common questions that we get this time of year
Mhm.
from admitted students. We don't make decision. We don't admit or deny students based on how much money that they have. I know we ask you to share a little bit of information in the certification of finances that you filled out as part of the application of how much funding you have, but we don't deny students who might say they don't have funding, which means we do offer admission and maybe even some academic scholarships when there's a big gap. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have those resources to cover that gap. So it definitely, I think the advice that Susan gave is really important. I know that we've done everything we can to assess you for the most scholarship that we can. But again, those scholarship decisions will be sent out through email. You'll be getting updates if you are going to be receiving a scholarship between now and March 31st. So if you haven't heard back yet, sit tight. And then once that date passes, and if you have questions, then feel free to reach out to us as well. Yep, and it looks like in the Q&A we in the chat we've put in our admission email, so you can always email admissions@umn.edu. And then of course, if you've already confirmed and you have some of those questions about the I-20 process or other opportunities, ISSSnew@umn.edu is a great place to connect with our colleagues in ISSS. Bottom line is you've got a lot of people that are here that want to help you. Sometimes students think that a large public university with lots of resources means impersonal, but hopefully that one of the messages you're getting from this is you've got an army of staff and faculty who are here to help you be successful and to help you as an individual, not just a group of students to find success here at the university. We've got a few more minutes left if there's other questions or any of other panelists have things that you want to add.
I see one here about dorm life. So it just says dorm life in general. We can chat about that just a little bit, of course. But housing and residence life, what can I say about this? So as far as dorms, there's different styles of dorms, and you'll find a lot of this information in the housing application itself. But when you go in, you can actually apply for different styles of dorms. That being said, most of the dorms, especially for our first year students, are going to be kind of the traditional American style dorms that you might expect. And so it'll be you and a roommate or maybe two roommates sharing a space and maybe a shared bathroom as well. And so that's kind of like the stereotypical college experience of dorm life in the United States. And I always like to say, especially for freshmen, that a lot of students want their own private room. That's an earned experience a lot of times. Okay, you're freshmen, it's about having that kind of communal experience. Not to say that there aren't private dorms and you can't apply for those, and sometimes freshmen do get them, but they are generally given to some of the upperclassmen on a priority basis. However, within that housing application, you can kind of state your preferences. And then, as far as other dorm life activities, finding roommates as well, you can sign up for like a randomized placement, or you can find someone that you like and connect with well, either based on friends that you know that are also coming to the U, or there's some different like Facebook and chat groups that you can meet in as well, kind of based on what your interests are there. Marina, did you have something to add to that?
Yes. So thanks, Susan, for adding that. And we always recommend our international students to, if you can, to live on campus and to live in the dormitories. For a lot of international students, or if you are a U.S. citizen living abroad, you don't come with your whole group of friends here. It is sometimes the first place you do make friends. And so you get connected. And these are the people sometimes you go to some of the activities together, such as Welcome Week or any of the student organization events. So it's really a great opportunity to make friends in a very quick way. It's also when you live on campus, you also have to sign up for a meal plan. So if you don't want to cook, that is also a more convenient way. You don't want to buy all of your kitchen supplies when you're also moving here with your 2 suitcases. So really, we do recommend that as the most convenient way to get connected, just to get your meals figured out, so you can focus on school. So.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, Susan, do you want to share when you'll be coming to Vietnam?
Yes, I see that question in there. So I will be in Vietnam in early April, and so we'll be communicating via email about some of specific in-person experiences that we'll be hosting in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. So we'll be sending out invites there. So if you're in either of those cities, or even if you wanna commute to one of those locations, we are gonna be having some great global Gopher experiences in person in those cities. And so we'll have a similar presentation style to this, but we'll also be having some really great networking and some alumni presence as well. So and your families will be invited to those as well. So some great kind of in-person time where we can meet and chat. So you will be seeing me soon in Vietnam in just a month or so. So yes, so we will be there.
Yeah. And as I said, we'll also be in 4 different cities in India, 4 different cities in China. Susan will also be in a few places, it's 3 other places in Southeast Asia, in Taiwan, and also in Korea. So we've got a lot coming up. Stay tuned. Looks like Karu's answering. We had another question about kind of Saudi clubs. There's a lot of different clubs for students from different countries and backgrounds and cultures. And right now in the month of Ramadan, a lot of our students are connecting with each other and finding ways to celebrate with a nice fast breaking dinner as well. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to connect. I think Karu's answering that question. Then there was another question with diversity question mark. Yes, exclamation point. The University of Minnesota, the Twin Cities are incredibly diverse places. We have, and when we talk about diversity, it's in almost every aspect that you can imagine, whether it's socioeconomic background, whether it's students from different race and ethnicities, different cultures, different identities, places, and also types of diversity that you can't see. We have such a great, welcoming, and inclusive environment for students with disabilities, both within our ISSS Global Gopher caucuses, as well as campus resources. Our students, in terms of our LGBTQIA plus students and allies and supporters, so many different ways for students to be able to engage. And so when you walk around campus, you're going to see a lot of people who don't necessarily share the same background that you have, that faculty represent a wide range of diverse perspectives of intellectual diversity, a diversity of experience and of culture. And we not just embrace, but we celebrate, and we want to amplify those diverse perspectives at a time where sometimes, there's definitely forces that say, we shouldn't be celebrating our differences and only talking about our similarities. We believe at the University of Minnesota that our differences, that our different skills and talents and gifts actually make us stronger together. And so it's a place where we definitely want to celebrate that. We're not perfect. We're better than we have been. We're still not as good as we can be, but with you here, we'll continue to be a really rich and diverse environment. And there was another question. It looks like, Susan, do you want to maybe answer this question live? Another question about specific foods.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of that. Yeah, we have a great different African communities as well with great food options. Kind of just to echo what Dane was saying. So yeah, there's a lot of different international restaurants from a wide variety of different communities that you can enjoy. So I always encourage students to branch out a little bit and try different foods from different places. But I understand that a lot of times, especially when you're far from home, you really just want a solid home cooked or home style meal. And so, yeah, we do have a lot of great different international communities where you can enjoy those spaces, as well as international grocery stores as well. If you ever wanted to venture into kind of sharing your home cooked meals with new friends that you might make, or just have a flavor of home that you cook yourself. And so, great options there. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Other questions as we wrap up here, just the last few minutes of our first global Gopher virtual experience. Well, as we wrap up, thank you so much for joining us. I see from the students that have joined us, you've come from all over the world to join us for this hour. Some of you, it's pretty late at night, so we appreciate you staying up a little bit. Don't step too much that you don't focus in school tomorrow, but we're really glad that you joined us for this time. This recording is going to be available within the next week or so. We'll have it in our Global Gopher webpage that ISSS hosts, so you'll be able to go back and view this, share it with your parents so they can watch as well. Look out again for your emails for different opportunities to engage with us on the road as well as virtually. And yeah, I'll just close things up and see if our panelists have any last words to share. Otherwise, we'll start to wrap things up.
I can go ahead and quickly say, yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. We are so excited to welcome you guys to our campus. As everyone has mentioned, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. The only bad question is one that you didn't ask. Okay, so please let us know if you need any more information. And we hope to see you guys at some of our next virtual experiences and hopefully in person as well. So.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Go ahead and wrap up and look out for more opportunities to engage with us through our Global Gopher virtual experiences. Thanks and have a great night. Have a great day.